Hello and welcome back. We are on lesson 242, which says, "This day is God's. It is my gift to him, her, the divine source, whatever you want to call it." This lesson invites you to release the illusion of going it alone and give your day over to divine guidance. So, we spoke about this before a couple of lessons ago. Um, and again, it's basically telling you that you don't have to live this life through your here's an analogy for you. Why live your life through carrying a flashlight, a torch, when you can just turn the light on to everything? This is like a really good analogy. You've spent your whole life going from room to room with a flashlight, right? Your perspective. When you've got access to God, the infinite, that can see everything, that can guide you. When you understand that, like, and again, this is so beautiful because I had this realization today. Like, I've been anchoring into my imagination, what I desire to have, right? And so many people believe that imagination is escapism. So many people believe that imagination is fantasy. It's actually the seat of creation. Everything that you see in front of you was first thought of or created in imagination, right? And so I've been anchoring into that so deeply that um I'm spending a lot of time there. And, Neville Goddard would call it the wish fulfilled. Why place your consciousness, your awareness on circumstances that have already been created, aka the 3D world, when you can create a new? So I've been creating a new using my imagination. This is where we flip the script and we turn it inwards rather than looking outwards. And I had noticed over the last couple of weeks that I'd still had immersed myself into the new whilst trying to figure out the how, the middle, right? How it's going to unfold. And then what I've done is then I've become a reporter of reality rather than trusting I'm the creator and God will create those circumstances to happen and unfold in the way that they're meant to. I don't need to micromanage, right? You just need to believe and trust that what you desire is yours by divine right and trust in the unfolding of that. Ask and it is given, not ask, figure it out, map it all out, work really hard and then get. Like, anchor into planting the seed, nurture it, water it by becoming that version of you, allowing yourself to bloom into that version of you without having to dig it back up to check if it's growing or figure out how it's going to look when it comes out. You don't need to. You get to say, I don't know, show me how, or what's my next step. You don't need to see the whole map, the whole journey, just one step at a time. And that can be revealed by God through you in any single moment if you ask for guidance. But when you shut yourself off to guidance, you're literally just walking around with a flashlight when you have access to everything. So, and again, I can be really bad for this and I don't want to be anymore, but I can be really stubborn. And I forget, the ego is like, oh, I want to do it alone. I can do this. And then I'm like, why? Why struggle? Why suffer? When you can lean into the infinite intelligence, God that exists within you and all around you to move mountains for you. You literally get to use this intelligence, use God to move mountains for you. You do not have to move the mountain. So stop trying to.
Yeah, today we're declaring. Remember, these are declarations more than they are lessons or more than they are ideas that you're learning. This day, gosh, I cannot speak. This day is God's. It is my gift to him. And like everything that Sammy said, it's just surrender. We're surrendering to allow God's source to work through us. We're taking ego's grip off the wheel and saying, Jesus, take the wheel. God, take the wheel. I love Sammy's analogy, and the analogy that I like to use, and that's coming through for me for this, is the one of, if you can imagine the perception from the perspective of like having the human experience, our perspective, as like if you were in Google Maps or iPhone Maps and you're able to drop the little guy into the street, And that's our perception. So we're like on the street and all we can see is like what's currently around us and just slightly what's ahead of us. We can't really see what's around the corner or what's 3 blocks away or what's, in the next region away, the next state away. But God source, that part of us is like the person looking at the whole map, right? And they can see it's like Siri or like the navigation. It can see the quickest, most direct path from point A to point B. So let's say I'm in California and I want to get to New York, but all I can see is the current street that I'm on and maybe a few blocks ahead, right? And so it looks like I think, oh, I need to go straight down the street from my perspective, but Siri's telling me turn right on in 300 feet, turn right, or whatever, right? In 3 blocks, turn right, or at the next stoplight, turn right. And I'm like, no, but why? It doesn't make any sense. I think I should go straight. But Siri sees the whole map, or, person looking at the map can see the whole map and it knows the quickest way from point A to point B. So today is really about full surrender. And okay, Siri thinks I'm talking to it. Stop, I'm not talking to you. Okay. On my iPad, which I have here, it started going like, um, so anyway, so that's the point. So we get to surrender and trust that where we are being led or being moved is not is the quickest path to where we desire to be. Like this is just putting another analogy to exactly what Sammy said, but on but it's really about surrendering to God and allowing that part, that divine source to work through us and move through us today. So the prayer for this lesson, you can either use the one from the book or this slightly edited one. And so we give this day to the source. We come with fully open hearts and minds. We ask not for what we think we want. Grant us what is best for us to receive. All our true needs are known and all guidance is given. Help us today to follow the path that leads back to our wholeness and light. And that's all for me.
That's it for this lesson, and we will see, well, not lesson, whatever it is. Are we calling them, what are we calling them again?
They are lessons. They are lessons, but instead of like ideas to be learned, I've been calling it declaration, but they are lessons. It's still a lesson.
On that note, we'll see you all tomorrow.